Today, we will dive into the food markets, ingredients, and flavors of the Byzantine Constantinople, and cook a 6th century dish from a physician's recipe. For that, our main guide is gonna be the book Tastes of Byzantium by Andrew Dalby, in which he describes the tastes, smells, and markets of the city. The Byzantine dietary calendar was highly structured, shaped by seasonal food availability and religious customs. Christian practice was so universal in Constantinople that nearly everyone's diet aligned with the religious calendar, which included periods of fasting and feasting. A dietary calendar, attributed to Herophilus the Sophist, offers month-by-month guidance on foods, beverages, and health practices. As it's January now, the coldest month, he advises 3 doses of aromatic wine and meals consisting of roast meat, game birds, or fried fish, all served hot and spiced with the strongest flavors. And that is exactly what we are gonna do. Today's dish is a richly spiced and aromatic beef stew from the cookbook of Antimeus, a Byzantine physician from the 6th century. For that, we are gonna need some beef, vegetables, spices, and a bottle of wine. In Constantinople, by the time of Justinian, we could find almost all of our ingredients in the daily markets of the Mesa, the white colonnaded streets that ran through the city from east to west. By the 9th century, during Leo the Wise's reign, these markets were regulated, as described in the book of the Eparch. Grocers may keep their shops anywhere in the city, in the broad streets and in the city blocks, so that the necessities of life may be easily procurable. They shall sell every article which can be sold by steelyard and not by scales. They shall not sell any article which belongs to the trade of perfumers, soap merchants, drapers, taverns, or butchers. For some shops, special rules were followed. For example, the bakers were never liable to be called to any public service, neither themselves nor the animals, to prevent any interruption of the baking of bread. And the tavern, where people could drink and eat, were only open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Because if the customers of these inns had the right of access to them at night as well through the day, the result might be that under the influence of drink, they would be able to indulge in violence and rioting. If we have everything we need, we can begin by boiling the beef in fresh water. Antimeus reminds us to use enough water so none has to be added later. The water in Byzantine time came all the way from Bulgaria and then stored in the many cisterns of the city. As a result of that, it didn't taste that good. It is reported by many travelers to be very salty, almost undrinkable. So, I think it is only fair to add some salt. And maybe some more. Once the beef is tender, we put it on the side. At this point, Antimeus advises us to avoid copper and use earthenware, but I think he would be pleased with the cast iron too. We pour half a cup of sharp vinegar in the casserole and add the aromatics. 3 sliced leeks, and a little pennyroyal. I couldn't find any pennyroyal, so I add fresh mint, which is like the cousin of pennyroyal. A chopped celery root, some fennel. Now we transfer the beef and some water to the new pot and let it simmer for an hour. Sweetness was an essential flavor in the Byzantine cuisine, so we add some honey and must to balance the sharp vinegar. In this cup I have all the spices well ground and mixed with a bit of muscat wine, one of the most favorite wines of the time. I pour it all in. The final step is to stir gently to blend the flavors into the sauce before it is taken off the fire. And here it is, a Byzantine beef stew, aromatic with vinegar, honey, and exotic spices. A dish that would have graced the tables of emperors, physicians, and merchants in the bustling city of Constantinople.